I am the CEO president of Jim Bully Clothing Company, the anti-bullying brand for all those who've seen my, I guess the 530 of you who've seen my stuff on Instagram. That's who I am.
Great. So why the name Jim Bully?
Man, seriously, Jim Bully, that's a good question. So Jim Bully came out of three things, primarily the gym culture, um, and also um, a real social kind of understanding of the whole thing that gym culture can portray, which is a negative connotation. So for me, gym bully came out of that, basically turning that what could be positive, I mean negative, I'm sorry, into positive.
So, who is Jim Bully Clothing?
So who's Jim Bully Clothing? Jim Bully Clothing, we are a social conscious brand, brand with a purpose, like we like to say. We combine the elements of social consciousness, athleisure coming from gym culture, but also image culture, fashion. So what we do is we use that fashion platform of clothing to, raise awareness for the important message, which is anti-bullying.
It's a great concept. So when did you get this vision?
Man, honestly, the vision came, it started in 2008, but the vision really came in 2012, if I was being honest. Just looked at, the name in itself, a lot of people like Jim Bully, they'd be like, y'all promoting violence and stuff. I had to really look at like my life, how I was coming from Trinidad, moving to the States, how I was teased, how I was bullied, and then my son, how he was bullied in England. It had to have some meaning behind the brand itself. So the vision really came from stemming out of those roles, and then being in the military, kind of seeing how adults are treated, and most people look at bullying as just a kid thing, but really it transcends through all walks of life, all ethnic backgrounds, age, sexual preferences. I mean, all of it. We just call it different names, but it really boils down to the one fundamental thing. It's bullying, really.
Great. So at the end of the day, I mean, you're giving people some dope outfits.
Right.
Some,
We try. We
Yeah.
try.
So, what makes Jim Bully different
Right.
than any other brand out there?
Right. Uh, Honestly, what makes Jim Bully different is a message. I mean, listen, bully weights not people is very simple, right? We're telling people, and we using weights right now because me and my partners, we come from that fitness gym culture, right? If we came from anywhere else, probably be different. But for us, it was like, listen, we know already that people don't like to go in the gym because they see the big dudes, they hear the grunting, and that environment could really be intimidating. So for us, it was really easy, the message, man. Bully weights not people. Being the anti-bullying brand, that it's not just dope clothes, a sweater, a hoodie, a tank top, leggings, or whatever. Listen, we're in a space right now where everybody's doing that, right? What sets us apart is that message, because that really hits home for people who not even in the gym, right? People got kids, man. People have experiences. We all have experiences with some form of teasing, some form of bullying. We all have, right? So for me, it was important that that message be different.
Right. So there are a lot of brands out there,
Mm.
a lot of mom and pop shops,
Mhm.
a lot of leisure wear companies. Where do you see Jim Bully fitting into the current gym fashion, the current fitness culture?
Um, I see us actually doing quite well. Um, you know, for me and my partners, we looked at the grand scheme of things. We have quality stuff. Let's just be honest. Our stuff that we create right now is quality. The good thing is that we don't have to compete with the big boys, but we're in a pretty good mix. People. Um, hey, listen, I'm not scared to say it. Like Live Fit is doing their thing. So I mean, for us, we're on the East Coast. We're not on the West Coast, and it's just a different mindset when it comes to fashion and fitness in general, right? all of you out there knows, like, listen, it's a different swag and style that you have on the West Coast, than you have on the East Coast, right? So for us, I honestly believe it's definitely we're able to fit in this current environment and survive.
Excellent. I know you mentioned partners. So who are your partners? Who are you working with?
Well, right now there's four of us, well, five. And each I would say member, we look more like brothers, man, than anything else. And it was funny because I am a Philly transplant. I'm not originally from here. We got Val, we got Kev, we got Chris, and Clayton. All of us really met, I would say, divinely. It wasn't like coincidence. It was kind of happened that way. And like anything, you have your ups and downs. But I think so far being out for a year now, we learned a lot. So I'm always grateful to those dudes. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, wouldn't change it. So it's not just me. I realized that this right here was too big for me, right? Yeah, I'm at the helm. Yeah, at the end of the day, everything falls on my lap or whatever. But it's good to have people in your corner, that support you and really on the same vision as you.
Great. So who are some of your inspirations? Who inspire you?
That's another good question, man. So my inspiration actually comes from a multitude of people. Coming from Trinidad, which I did, so I'm originally from Trinidad. And growing up in New York, Staten Island, shout out to Shaolin. I was bullied and teased the way I was dressed. As all of you know, like, New York is fashion. Like, so I was pretty much going to a school. It was a fashion show like every day. Coming up in the 90s, for me, it was Damon John of FUBU. What he was able to do from, like, starting with hats, you know what I'm saying, and then t-shirts and then really making his company international, right? So Damon John is one. Didi is another one. I mean, great business mind, what he did with Sean John and everything else. And as, like, recently, Randall Pitch, man, like, here's one thing you gotta realize: it don't matter how, like, old or young you are, hunger trumps intelligence any day. That's just what I think. If you hungry, you're able to do it all. And right now, like, Randall Pitch is doing it. Like, props to him. So that's definitely someone. And he's an immigrant like myself. So he's definitely someone. Even though he's younger, definitely someone that I would definitely consider inspirational for me.
Great. So you mentioned Damon, you mentioned Diddy,
Mm-hmm.
Randall.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're business owners and they're entrepreneurs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how hard is it to be a business owner or entrepreneur? And is there a difference between those two things?
Right. Well, and let me take that back to, I missed one, Kevin Plank, Under Armour, right? So I'll just be real. A lot of people may know who, let's just say, French Montana, or let's just say Future, right? But not many people know who Kevin Plank is. If you don't know who Kevin Plank is Under Armour, right? So how hard is it to be being a business person, entrepreneur? It's very hard. I mean, listen, it takes a special type of person to want to do something different outside the norm, right? If you look at all the history of entrepreneurs and business owners, right? Oprah, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, like all those people, right? Even Kevin Plank and even Randall Pitch, right? It takes a special type of person to think outside the flow of how everything is going, and also to have the drive, the hunger, and the patience to deal with failure, because you're gonna fail, right? It's just having the ability to know that it's a teachable moment, and it doesn't mean like the end. And then part two, this is just a Carlism. This is just me, a business owner and an entrepreneur. So a business owner, for the most part, is just happy to have a business, right? Where they're comfortable. Entrepreneur is always thinking, right? Looking at ways to always innovate, always create, always to be better than what they currently have, right? Looking to expand and explore different horizons, but also be able to bring someone up as well, someone up and coming, help them achieve a certain level of success as well. So I really think that's the difference between, like, a business owner and an entrepreneur, right? yeah, that's
Good. So there's a lot of there's a lot of good ideas. I think it's a great concept. So if you were to take this as far as you can,
right.
right? What do you hope to achieve? What do you hope the legacy
Right.
would be?
I mean, you just hit me with good questions, bro. Like killing me. So for me, here's what I really took hold of what Mr. Plank had to say, right? So his ideology was pretty much like he was smart enough, but to be naive enough to not pretty much, and I'm paraphrasing, right? Smart enough to be naive enough to not realize how far he could take it, all right, or to be limited in what what Under Armour could be. I'm the same way. Listen, I want to have fun while doing this. I want to create something different and something new. I don't know honestly how big Gym Bully is going to be, but I know it's going to be huge. And I don't want to be corny. I don't want to change lives or nothing. Listen, I just want people to be aware that bullying is real. And on the serious tip, like, people have died from it, right? Just because you're different, right? So for me, if I could bring a change into the world, no matter how big or small, bring awareness to something that's very serious, but at the end of the day, show kind of homage to coming from a gym culture that people just look at, oh, it's a bunch of meatheads. Oh, these cats just, starve themselves or do this or do that. You know what I'm saying? To combine all those worlds and give you just dope clothing that you like to express yourself. I think my legacy is to be able to, like, listen, Carl was one of the dudes that, was able to change a culture, right? And that's why I kind of started saying, defining, our culture one person at a time, from a mental aspect, socially, from a fitness aspect, and also just from an image aspect as well. So,
great answer. So in closing, what do you want people to take away?
What I want people to take away from Gym Bully, man, it's a movement. It's a movement. It's fun. But also to know, like, if you want to be an entrepreneur, go ahead and do it. It ain't easy. It's hard. But if you got that fire in you, you're never too old. You're never too young. Don't let people take anything away from you, right? You got a dream, live it. The thing is, you got to work hard for it. You got to, take the ups and downs that come with it and just keep grinding. Keep hustling. Keep doing what you do. But know that, like, Gym Bully is about to make its mark. We're here. We ain't going nowhere. It's a whole nother level for us, right? And that's what I want people to look at. Be motivated, right? Don't look at it as a fitness company. Don't look at it as like a black-owned company. Just look at it as, some guys in Philly, trying to do something positive for the culture, right? And I'm gonna leave you with this, right? What we're doing is we're redefining the culture one person at a time, whether it's mentally, spiritually, physically, image-wise on your soul. We're letting you know you're an individual. We're about inclusion, right? So, CL, Gym Bully Clothing, the anti-bullying brand. Thank you for your time.
Great stuff from Carlyle, CEO, Gym Bully. Before I let you go, you got to tell the people where can they get some of the dope hat,
my man,
dope pullover, and get involved in the Gym Bully movement.
My man. So, check out the website. It's gymbullyclothing.com. The gymbullyclothing.com, all one word, right? Also, we have our Instagram, which is Gym Bully Clothing Co., right? Again, all one word, at Gym Bully Clothing Co. And on our fan page on Facebook, it's Gym Bully Clothing Co. Right? Type it in. You'll be able to find us. I'm on there. My man Val, who's like 250-pound gorilla, on there. We got, Kev on there. We got, you'll see shots of Chris and Gucci and just genuine people, our fans and friends and stuff like that, who, again, like the clothes, but most importantly, love the message. All right? So the message is key. Bully Waste Not People, CEO, CL, anti-bullying brand, out.